So you want a Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport, but you do a lot of highway driving and you'd like to know what sort of numbers you can actually expect for miles per gallon on the highway. Then this video is for you. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor. Today we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test of the 2021 Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. We're going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out and 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour to get you a realistic fuel economy number for this mid-size crossover. Before we get started, let's hop out, take a look at it. Rocking the 3.6 liter, boy is it windy today, the 3.6 liter V6 and all-wheel drive. The Cross Sport is the two-row version of the Atlas, having an aggressive front but kind of a styled, slopey rear end. Styling is maybe a little bit too much for some, but I actually think it looks pretty darn neat, and I appreciate its kind of unique form. So if you want to see more on the Atlas Cross Sport, check the links in the description. We've got a review of the 12-speaker Fender audio system and a DM test drive. So right off the bat, if you're just coming here for the number, you don't want to hear the mumbo jumbo beforehand, go ahead and click ahead. We've got a chapter to get you right to the result. All we ask is that you hit that like and subscribe button to make up for that loss in watch time revenue. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA's highway fuel economy test, which gives this Atlas Cross Sport 23 miles per gallon, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. We know there are people who take their vehicles on long road trips and would like to know what sort of number you can actually expect here in the real world. In order to do that, we're going to head to the gas pump, fill up, go out and do 100 miles, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same 3-click fueling method to get our result. A few things to note for today: outside temperature is 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Tire pressures have been set to their door placard, 36 psi cold, and we're going to run the climate control at 73 degrees auto. Now yes, this is going to use the air conditioning, but that's how people travel in the real world, and without it, we would roast. So let's hop out and fill it up. I appreciate that unlike so many of the turbocharged versions of these cars, this naturally aspirated 3.6 only requires 87 octane. 2.141 gallons going in. Before we actually start the engine, we're going to set our climate control to 73 degrees auto, reset our trip computer, and we're ready to begin. There are a few different drive modes in the Cross Sport. We've got, on top of a few off-road modes, normal, eco, and sports. We're going to be running this test in eco. We're going to head over to the highway and pick up the test from there. The goal of this test isn't to hypermile. We're not trying to get the best possible fuel economy for this car, but rather find out what a realistic number is for just cruising on the highway. In order to do that, we're going to really lean into this V6 to get it up to speed. This is not the most powerful engine, that's for sure. We're going to get up to speed and set our cruise control at a GPS indicated 73 miles per hour. This should allow us to average 70 over the whole trip. Pedometer seems pretty accurate, if not actually a little bit low. But 73 on the dash is giving us a mixture of 73 and 74 on the GPS. So I think we'll set at 73. We got adaptive cruise control as well as travel assist, which is a fairly middle of the road lane keeping. So you can see if we take our hands off the wheel, it is steering for us, but it's not going to do it as confidently as some of the leading systems. Other than that, seems like a fairly decent place to be in here on the highway. We're going to continue on with the rest of the test and catch up with you at the end. In the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the Atlas Cross Sport, we are exceeding the abysmally low 23 mile per gallon EPA rating, currently sitting at 24.8 according to the car's trip computer. I really hope we do at least get 25 miles per gallon when we get back to the pump, because why would you be willing to get such low fuel economy numbers in a car that's only got 2 rows? I mean, yeah, it has a decent amount of capability and a decent amount of space, but there are just so many other options that are getting much better fuel economy numbers. I mean, if you're a family type person, most of the minivans we've tested recently get significantly better fuel economy than this. I mean, geez, you're looking at nearly 30 miles per gallon to get 7 or 8, in some cases 6 seats in a vehicle, plus all that space. So if you can swallow your ego just a little bit and be fine with driving a minivan, maybe if you don't need to do any of that off-roading that the Atlas Cross is technically capable of, get yourself a minivan. And some of them even get all-wheel drive. Look at the Toyota Sienna. That being said, this has been a good highway cruiser. The adaptive cruise works well. The active lane keeping works well. I'm comfortable. The Fender sound system is decent, but we're talking $50,000 for a car that's just barely getting 25. Let's see what we get at the pump. I don't know if the value proposition's there, but hey, let's get back to the pump, fill it up, and see what we get. 24.9 is our final number, so let's fill it up. 4.166 gallons going in for our final fill. 108.4 divided by 4.166 is giving us 26 miles per gallon. So, better than both the car's trip computer and the EPA. So, it might be possible you get 26, but I actually think 25 is probably a more realistic number. Kind of brings it a little bit more in line with the car's trip computer and EPA. So we're going to go with 25 miles per gallon times the 19.5 gallon fuel tanks, large. Gives you an effective highway cruising range of 480 miles here in the Atlas Cross Sport V6 all-wheel drive. So thank you all so much for watching. Again, I don't think that's a particularly impressive result for this size of vehicle. I mean, you are getting a naturally aspirated V6, you're getting all-wheel drive and a good amount of space, so that's all fine and good, but if you are going to be doing a ton of highway miles, I would probably steer you in another direction. But either way, if you like the Cross Sport and you want to do a lot of highway miles, that's what you're going to get. So we'll see you on the next one. If you want to see more on the Cross Sport, check the links in the description. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.